think for the longest I thought I was a lesbian, and I realized that that was not necessarily something that felt true to me. And for a lot of people I know that have had similar experiences where they come into this type of queerness where you're neither nor, you know, you're not straight, you're not a lesbian, you're not gay, but you're somewhere in between. That means kind of like you just have an open perspective of what the world is for you and for others.
I guess I have considered myself queer for maybe 10 years now. I feel I was a little bit of a late bloomer. It wasn't until after college that I sort of came to know my identity. I kind of took it for granted that I was straight.
You know, I was totally that kid when my mom wasn't home, I'd get in her heels, and, you know, I would dress up in drag every Halloween and every chance I got, and was really struggling to find my femininity and my non-masculinity also as a source of strength and power. And when I realized that there was like an entire community that did that and fucked with their gender and, you know, blurred the binary of male and female, I was really into it.
I feel like I embody femininity and masculinity in equal spheres, and that neither of them kind of dominates my wholeness.
Being trans for me means I was, you know, I came out of my mother's vagina, and they looked at my genitalia and they were like, oh, that's a guy. So I was assigned male at birth, and then growing up I was like, not really feeling that, and then I came out, and so for me, being a trans woman is like being a woman with a different experience. You know what I mean? My womanhood. I'm just as much a woman as any other woman. You know, I just, you know, just like black women are women and white women are women and disabled women are women. These are all just different experiences of womanhood. And so mine is the transgender experience of womanhood. And for me, being queer or pansexual, I'm attracted to all sorts of bodies, mostly towards like other trans folks, so like other trans women, other trans guys, or queer folks. I don't really do straight people, no. And so yeah, I guess it's, you know, I'm just attracted to folks who are like me.
When I first moved to Austin, I couldn't wait to leave. I was kind of immersed in school and only doing that and didn't have time for much else. And also it took me a while to find friends, and I had you know, tons of acquaintances and people that I knew, but not really a tight community until within the last year or so that's happened. And so it's mostly, I know these folks through mutual friends, and there's, you know, been like a group of us that sort of come together, and, you know, we have regular hangouts and share and community build and stuff like that.
My community is about trying to create as much self-care and support for each other, whether that's in dinner parties or making herbal tinctures for one another, you know, having palette pillow days where we watch The Wiz. I feel like we support each other in any space when we're exchanging stories and we're like talking through our issues.
I mean, it's absolutely a support network. Like the community that I have here of queer people of color, like I feel very strongly that it's important to have folks around you who reflect your experience, and who understand like where you're coming from and where you've been. And like I really like being able to like go into a space and be like, fuck, like, oh my god, this was my day today and it was awful, and not have to like explain why it was awful, you know, because they're like, yeah, I hear you, you know what I mean, and they like have my back, you know. Like that is like super important to me.
A lot of it has been an exercise in solidarity, because queer people of color lumps a lot of very different people together. You know, Morgan and I are both Latinos, but we're a different kind. Like, I'm Chicano and she's Puerto Rican and Colombiana. So those are very different experiences. You know, South America and the Caribbean versus like Northern Mexico. Really different places, and she's trans and I'm genderqueer, and that's a super different experience too. So there's a lot of like learning other people's struggle within the QPOC community and still providing that support.
There was recently this kind of like altercation with this woman who was kind of like, well, what are you guys doing to like help the world? And, you know, we were having a discussion at a dinner, and we were just talking about issues, and she asked what we were doing about it, and really what we were doing was just like supporting each other, having a dinner, coming together, witnessing each other's lives. All of that is very supportive, and validating people. That's support.
I wouldn't like trade this for the world. My community is like super important to me, and I get a lot of strength from my community.
We're not supposed to kind of speak on these things, but being a genderqueer person, which to me is also like a political act, I have no choice but to be vocal and to share my stories and celebrate my stories, because I don't subscribe to any type of shaming of my culture. My culture is like very celebratory and like sound and like wise. I'm super influenced by this idea that like there's so much space in the world for as many people as possible, so like why not let that happen?